Hello and welcome back to Tropico 6. I am Geran and these are my first impressions of its first DLC, The Llama of Wall Street. Because like The Sims, this game is it's obsessed with llamas. I got this key from Keymailer, so thank you to the devs. I'm looking forward to playing this. Big fan of Tropico 6. I've already got like over 60 hours in it and I'm looking forward to giving this a go. They've added some new customizations, so I've gone with this 70s suit over the money suit. And you can also now have stuff like a money bin, and I think golden statues are new as well. There are a few new things with this, because this is all about money and the like. Well, isn't it always? So as you can see, I've played most of the missions. There are a couple that are just really bloody hard. But I'm going to try the Llama of Wall Street. El Presidente was never shy, and this archipelago had the perfect setup to pursue his dreams. He dreamed big. So this takes place over 3 eras: production, trade and trends, price fluctuation, trends and random events. These are the new things added in the DLC. So let's give it a go.
Can't you believe there was once a time when nobody knew about Tropico, Presidente? Today, the Tropico brand is so scorching, you could use it to sear your initials into cattle hide. Do you remember where this all began? That beautiful island so bursting with possibilities and potential. Just like my dream, an acorn of a dream from which mighty commercial branding grew. And to think, the global economic powerhouse that is the Tropico brand all began with something so simple, so innocent as that Little Big Prez doll.
That doesn't sound at all weird.
Presidente, I have a dream. A beautiful and lucrative dream. No, nothing.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
This time, I assure you. This is all about you.
I dream of a world where every man, woman, child, dog and cat has their own Presidente. A little wooden one, with an oversized novelty head. I call him Little Big Prez. A lovable doll so everyone will adore you as much as I do. And buy them at a gigantic markup. 2 logging camps, a toy workshop, that's one of the new buildings, and produce toys. Just to warn you, it has been a little while since I played, so I might be a bit rusty. So there are also now fluctuations in the trade prices, which I'm sure will show up in the course of the mission. Price modifiers, I think this is new. Okie dokie. Well, 2 logging camps. I did first impressions on Tropico 6 when it originally came out. You should go check that out if you haven't seen that already. Because this game really exceeded my expectations. Because I enjoyed Tropico 5, but this was better in basically every single possible way. There we go. Wow, okay, you hear that? That's my numpad plus. Why is that so stiff? I mean, I know I've never used it, but seriously. Right, so trade. Oh yes, I need a workshop as well, a toy workshop. So that'll be an industry toy workshop. Oh yeah, they've added job quality. I can't remember if this was... I think this was just in a patch, it's not connected. So it shows the sort of base job quality as well. So produces different goods to produce... processes different goods to produce different toys depending on work mode and emits pollution. Alright, I'll stick that... there. So, there's job positions, reduces pollution. Oh, the work mode's right. I think the arrangement here is also a new one. Oh, look, it's got me with how I actually look, with the Stetson and the 70s suit. And this, what is that? Oh, of course, it's a llama, isn't it? It's a llama with a monocle and a top hat. That's the new sort of floor there. Right, here we are. Wooden toys, cuddly toys, rubber toys, and remote controls. So there's logs, cotton, rubber and electronics.
I do not understand what makes people think they can produce better goods than us. Unless, of course, they have actually bought some of our goods. In which case, I do understand.
Still, even if the market is somewhat slumped for the products we make, at least it makes them keen to buy our raw materials so they can make consumer goods, or at least prevent us from doing so. The price of all raw goods is increased, but processed goods are decreased. Oh, that's the price fluctuation event.
How strange! There's been a shift in the global markets, and now nobody seems to want manufactured goods. And I was just about to say we've got it made. Shame.
I gather this is to stop it being so easy to basically trigger the market into just being a constant stream of money. Whereas before, prices stayed completely constant no matter what happened. So no matter how much you exported, no matter what was going on, doesn't matter. If you have a high value product, you will always have money forever. Whereas this balances it somewhat, adds in a bit of variation. Customs office and the broker will offer to pull the strings to end the random event prematurely. Okie dokie. Customs office is one of the best things in this game. I will stick it. Screw it, just stick it there. So I love how you don't need to place stuff in a specific sort of orientation. As long as it's near enough to a road and doesn't need the road connection, it's just all good.
It is all happening as I dreamt it, Presidente. Except I am not a chihuahua, and you are not 50 feet high. But it is close to how I dreamt it.
The first Little Big Prez toys are in the stores. Soon the world will love you as much as Penultimo does. And we solved the problem of how to sell them to boys. We simply replaced the word doll with action figure. It might even catch on. Free lumber mill?
Hey there, Presidente. I heard the telltale rustling sound of money being made. I came as quick as I could.
And then once I cleaned up, I went to see you. These toys are great, of course. I mean, who wouldn't want a action figure of you, right? But what you really need to do is think bigger than that and start building a brand. And I have a master plan to do just that for you, trust me. First things first, we have to make sure you're on trend. Trade Institute, that's a new building. Activate work mode, study markets for at least one Trade Institute and gain a load of revenue. So, Trade Institute. Aha. Provides a forecast of market trends and allows to manually provoke market trends, decreases the impact on trade prices caused by exports. So presumably the more you export, the more it reduces the price. That makes sense. I'll put that right there. Perfect fit for it.
So, I sent out some feelers, listened to the grapevine, stole some confidential documents and so forth, and now I can offer you some new trend-busting options at quite reasonable prices.
If you find that the market trends are going to move against your plans, a modest advance payment will make it so they'll all go away quietly, brushed under the carpet if you will, or perhaps dissolved in a bathtub. What's that look for? We've all done it. Okay, pull the strings, so the broker... Pull the strings, add an option to end random events prematurely. You can currently do this 0 times. Trade Institute, work mode, there's calm markets and study markets. I need to research Trade Institute before I can do that. Ah, that's why it's not doing any researching, is because I have no libraries. Oh wow. Provoke bull, provoke bear. Set a negative price trend on some goods or a positive. And then that can be upgraded with e-trading, increase the number of provocable trends by 1. But costs electricity. Building operates on basic settings, reduces the monthly trade impact from exporting goods. So by default, this will just reduce the export sort of penalty the more you export of a certain thing.
In the event of panic, breathe into the paper bag.
Oh, didn't they add an option to turn off those bloody radio things? Did I imagine that? Did I dream that? Oh no, they added an option to turn off the zoom in for election speeches. That was really annoying. Nope, still can't turn off the random inane bloody radio things that just repeat the same 3 or 4 phrases. Okay, weapons are now trending up. After a massive drop about a year ago, they're now slowly on the rise again. And the trend lasts 29 months. That's long enough for you to sort of get it started. So the customs office is one of the best things in the entire game because you can use it to reduce import or get just a slow trickle of stuff to your Swiss bank account. But by default it increases export prices. It's very, very good building. So whereas in the first game the Swiss bank account was sort of a way to keep score, in this it has a very real purpose. And I don't remember how much I touched on it in my first impressions. Basically, it's a good way to constantly tick up your people's opinion of you. So if I had 5,000, I could get that to increase it by 7. And what I usually do is regularly check that and buy any ones that I can that are the lowest. So I need to get some thingy, so that's why I could really do with the special tax. Sadly, it's a Cold War thing, so I can't actually get that yet. Cheese is trending down. Ah, I see, it shows here on the goods and prices what's going where. So cheese has been fairly steady for the last couple of years, but is now taking a massive decline. Ah, the price modifiers, -10 for the story event and +1 for the stimulate exports. So it's not a massive increase from the stimulate exports, but time to get some raids going. Because these are just really good. I normally just leave it on the treasure hunt on repeat. Which I'm going to do now. Aha, Trade Institute, done. Study markets. So I didn't even look at what this does. Generates knowledge based on the average trade impact per worker. I don't exactly know what that means. Oh, my approval is quite low. Militarists aren't very happy with me. And healthcare is low. Healthcare is my lowest, so I can do something about that. But I can't because I don't have the bloody college-educated workers.
Presidente, there is a flaw in our military...
Oh, finally, something I can actually do for the militarists. Police station. Police station is in the government stuff. Yay, militarist standing, yay. See, what I tend to do is try and skew it so that I only have to balance 1 or 2 at a time. So, like, I get a newspaper and have it give propaganda to the militarists or something, so I don't need to try and keep the religious happy. But I found out later on that if religion happiness is too low, people stop reproducing, which seems a very odd connection. Oh. So I keep checking this to try and find something I can actually export. And toys, they're 4% below the standard. That's probably because of the recession on manufactured goods. But even so... yeah, see, it's still actually a profit. Auto-export income. This is a nice thing which I don't recall seeing before. Auto-export income is how much you'll get if you just ship it out normally, whereas the root income is how much if you ship it out using this. So if I keep up the toys output, I will get a tiny bit of extra money.
Now we're talking, Presidente. We have our finger on the pulse of the world's trade. And soon, we'll have our knife at its throat, too.
Don't look shocked, I know that's what you were thinking too. You can't make an omelette without mugging a few chickens, you know, omelette's spelled horribly wrong. I think that's just the American spelling. And if you're going to start assaulting wildfowl for fun and profit, we'll need a plan. I'll bang a memo over to your manservant Penultimo. I need the broker money.
The broker talks to you is appalling. He acts like your equal when he is at best an improper fraction. But his master plan for growing the Little Big Prez brand appears to be working.
According to the broker's memo, the next step is to diversify our toy lines. Does that mean cutting them into smaller pieces? We shall need more toy workshops, more toys, and more Presidente. Perhaps a highly publicized personal visit will make sure everything is just right. I need 3 of them. Toys as service, cuddly toys for at least 1, and visit. Alright, well, damn, they'll give me a toys trade route, which is probably going to be a lot more profitable than the bloody one I've already got with the US. So what's this thing I need to put on them? Oh, toys as service, okay. Look at all this lovely land for cotton. Delicious toy cotton. I'm going to have to build a logging camp. So that's more along the lines of what I'm doing. So Topsy-Turvy's ended, reducing the 10% reduction on... what's they called? Thingies. Manufactured goods. Alright, so you make cuddly toys. Oh, there's a duplicate button. I think that's new as well.
I knew I could count on you to do the...
Religious standing. Oh, wow, that gave me a massive boost up. It's because they're the biggest faction. I did not notice that. There's my 3rd toy factory. Now they all have that, and now I visit one.
Enemies all around.
Visit the toy factory.
Come to me.
It's working, President.
Oh, that was nice and easy.
You are the face of a beloved toy line with only 3 lawsuits in the last year. All successfully hushed up, of course.
The broker's still not shared the endgame of his master plan with us, but for now let's keep our friends close and our enemies closer, and our broker even closerer.
Looking good, Presidente. Not just the face of the Little Big Prez brand, you won Best Tropical Dictator in this month's Supremo magazine.
You know what we should do with that extra publicity? Nothing at all. Yet. We bide our time, fill up some warehouses with an absurd quantity of stock, and check the trends for an opportunity to make a killing. Figuratively, that is. Although I know a guy who knows a guy, we need the other kind. Have 2 warehouses. Oh, I think they're new. 5 resources with over 1,000 quantity. Warehouses, I don't know where those go. Infrastructure, of course. Warehouse stores a massive amount of up to 3 different goods. Customization of logistic guidelines. Well, that sounds not at all dry. Yeah, these are definitely new. Warehouse. Considering that it's essentially a large empty space, it seems like a rather strange proposition. It's hard to put an adequate lock on a vacant lot. So you can choose the things that are stored, which I'm guessing are going to be toys. Oh, I see. It shows their current market value. That's very clever. But I can't keep more than one kind in the same place. I don't think I'm generating enough different kinds of resources, so like the cloth and logs are completely empty, because of course they're going to make the bloody toys, which are getting stockpiled. Oh, I need 5 different resources, so even though I've got toys in here and in there, it doesn't count because they need to all be bloody different ones. Oh damn, I didn't accept this. 46% over. That is a very good one. Nice. So I'm currently exporting that at under the price, and that at over the price. I'm going to cancel that just because I need the money more than I need the friendship. Ain't it always the way? I think one of my weaknesses is that I follow the sort of main quest and don't vary from it at all. So here it's suddenly gone, oh, you need to have 5 different resources in high quantities, and it's like, I don't have that. I don't have the infrastructure for that at all. So I've gone with toys, coconuts, because I've got a couple of the coconut pickers, fish, which I've only just managed, meat, because I already had a couple of things, and cotton. So I'm building another cotton farm over here, cotton plantation. So I either need to produce a load more cotton, which should be increasing its production now, or I need to, oh, it's done now. Yeah, produce the cotton.
The time's right, Presidente. We should strike while the iron is hot. Although I don't think iron is literally hot right now. But I'd have to check the markets to be sure.
Let's wave a red flag, not the communist flag, mine perished the thought. No, the kind that literally provokes bulls into charging, but figuratively. Bull trading, Presidente, waiting for prices to rise, only I'm not very patient, so we'll just make it happen. Acquire knowledge and provoke a bull trend. Sorry, I've just twigged why the warehouses are so useful, and I know it's basically spelled out for me, but I just didn't cotton on, no pun intended, until now. And it's because you can hold on to stuff until you see that the price has gone up. You know, for example, I've just got a trade route for meat, because meat was high. This is a 12% above standard, rather than the usual 6%. So that means I can sell off all of that meat I stockpiled for decent profit. And because you can stockpile up to 10,000 per slot, then you can basically fill out an entire trade export just from one stockpile. It's a really cool system, actually. Trade stuff before was pretty much you line it up and then it just trickles in one way or another, unless you had an export, in which case you never quite managed to meet it properly unless you had massive production. But this improves both situations. You know, I am really, really impressed with the Tropico DLC model. In the first one, in 5 is my first one that I played. In 5, they sort of spammed stuff quite a bit, with like loads of different useless things like, oh, this adds a fast food joint, and so on, that was just, why bother? But then when they released 6, they included almost everything from the other DLC as standard, like asylums and offshore offices, I think that was a DLC one. And if they sort of proceed to add in core mechanics like this, rather than little pointless things like, here, have an extra building that functions exactly like all the other entertainment buildings, then this will be the good kind of DLC. As I see it, DLC should be expansions rather than extra items, you know? Ah, my trade route's done. Is there another one? There is not. In that case, just... oh, I'm full on toy stockpile. Provoke a bull trend. Provoke bull, set a positive trend, presumably on toys. Oh, I get to choose. After consuming a ridiculous amount of knowledge, the Trade Institute found strings they can pull to manipulate prices. I don't really have any of these things. I guess corn, because I do have corn. Oh no, I've got meat. I produce more meat than corn.
All this bull trading is making me hungry. Anyone for steak? No?
Well, we made money, and that's the important thing, and more importantly, the master plan is shaping up nicely. Soon I'll tell you everything you need to know about the endgame. Trust me, it'll be worth the wait. 10 years, at least.
Presidente, according to the latest master plan memo from the broker, we are going to need a big launch. I was excited, but only because I misread it as big lunch.
Speaking of launches, we could make boats. They float most of the time, and if ours happen to sink, we could call them submersibles. Who doesn't like being in a tin can underwater? Oh, and tin cans, we could make those. Or seafood flavoured cheese. On second thoughts, let's not do that. Although I bet it would be popular in some markets. Boats and canned goods. So I'm going to leave it there, because having to produce a load of boats and canned goods... oh, fucking hell, it's so noisy, this game. Seriously, Jesus Christ. It's constant bloody demands and speeches and radio. So irritating. Anyway, I really enjoy this game. But producing boats and canned goods, that's going to be a load of extra work, which right now my time is up. So I hope you've enjoyed this look at the first Tropico 6 DLC, Llama of Wall Street. I'm likely to play more of it now that I'm getting back into Tropico. I'm hopeful for the potential of Tropico 6's DLC if they keep up the sort of expansion style ones instead of little item ones. So let me know if you want to see more Tropico 6. I've live streamed it once or twice, I think once. And go check out the first impressions, which will be linked at the end. Also remember that if you want to have your say on future first impressions, please consider pledging to my Patreon linked in the description. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you later.